Hey everyone. Been thinking about the Buick Regal Model T. We have two. And we found this awesome Automotive Snaps podcast episode where they really get into it. Should you consider this car? Let's dive in.
Yeah, those guys, Donald and Transcript of Truth, they really go at it.
For sure. Right away, they're going back and forth on the Regal's body.
Mm.
Donald's all about how it's got that classic Buick look, luxury and sportiness. And he's talking about how well built it is. He's saying, hey, check out the steel construction, super durable. But then Transcript the Truth, he's like, hold on a minute. All that steel's got to add some weight, right?
Yeah, using steel can make a car feel really solid, like you said, great for safety,
Uh-huh.
but it does add weight, and that can affect how the car performs.
Right. And Buick uses this high-strength steel in some parts of the Regal's body. It's really strong, but also lighter. So it's like they're trying for both a solid feel and good performance, which makes sense for a Buick.
Right. Then Donald's pointing out how Buick's always been big on safety and handling, especially at higher speeds, and some extra weight can actually help with that. Makes the car feel more stable.
So it's a trade-off, less weight, quicker acceleration. More weight, stable, and solid. What do you think? Which way would you go?
It depends on what you're after in a car. Some people like that feeling of being stuck to the road. Others want a car that's really quick off the line.
Okay, so we've talked body and safety. What about what's under the hood? The Regal's got a 2.0-liter four-cylinder turbocharged engine.
Oh, yeah.
You know what turbocharged means? It means they use exhaust gases to force more air into the engine, so more power from a smaller engine. Pretty neat, huh? And it gets 250 horsepower.
Yeah, 250 horsepower is definitely decent for a car this size. Plenty for everyday driving, and you can still have some fun on those twisty roads.
Yeah, but then Transcript the Truth chimes in again. He's wondering if 250 horsepower is going to cut it compared to the competition. Some of those rivals have way more horsepower, like 300, 350, even 400.
That's a good point. If you want to feel that intense acceleration, you might want a bit more power. But remember, more horsepower often means a higher price tag and sometimes worse fuel economy.
Exactly. And Donald brings up fuel efficiency. He's saying this engine balances performance and fuel economy pretty well. You get good acceleration when you need it, but you're not constantly filling up the tank.
Yeah, and the Automotive Snaps guys, they're having a little fun here. They're joking about someone wanting a V12 engine in the Regal like it's some crazy super-powered sedan.
Yeah. It's like they're saying not everyone needs or wants that much power, right?
Right.
So is the Regal's engine a no-go if you're really into performance? Or is it a smart choice if you want practicality and good fuel economy? What do you think?
It all comes down to what you're looking for. It's not going to win any races, but it will get you where you need to go comfortably and efficiently. And that 2.0-liter engine's paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission, so smooth shifting and a responsive driving experience.
Okay, let's talk about the interior. This is where Buick really shines, right? Comfortable, well-appointed cabins. The Regal's got leather seats, a really nice infotainment system. Big touchscreen controls everything. Navigation, music, climate control. All the little luxury touches you'd expect.
Yeah, but Transcript the Truth raises a good point. He's like, is all this luxury enough to stand out? Most every car brand's stepping up their game with interiors these days.
Totally. A leather steering wheel and a CD player don't cut it anymore. Luxury's everywhere, it's harder to stand out. But Donald says the Regal's strength is its value. You get all these premium features, but at a lower price than like your Audis and BMWs.
That's huge for a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
Do you really need to spend a fortune for a brand name if you can get the same features and comfort for less?
Yeah.
That's a big question.
And it brings up another question. How does the Regal's interior really compare to Audi, Mercedes-Benz, BMW? Is there a difference in the quality, the design?
That's where you got to do your own digging. Test drive it, sit in the driver's seat, see how the infotainment system works, get a feel for it. Because prestige does matter to some people. Do you want that brand name, or are you looking for the most value for your money?
Great point. Now let's talk about reliability. We all want a car that's going to last, right? Transcript the Truth asks, can the Regal overcome Buick's, recent reliability issues? Let's face it, they've had some ups and downs. Some models, the Enclave, the LaCrosse, had some problems.
Yeah, and those things can stick with people, even if the brand's working to get better.
But Donald says Buick's been doing well in Consumer Reports lately. They're improving, and the Regal should be part of that.
It's good to see them moving in the right direction,
Mm.
but think about it, how important is long-term reliability to you? Is it a make-or-break thing, or are you willing to take a chance if the car has other things you love?
That's a tough one. Maybe we should dig into those Consumer Reports ratings a bit more, see how the Regal specifically stacks up.
Yeah, let's do that next. Those Consumer Reports ratings, they really carry a lot of weight.
Yeah, for sure. And Donald was definitely using them to back up his point about the Regal. But, transcript the truth, he's always got to play devil's advocate. He's like, yeah, okay, but let's see how the Regal itself holds up over time. We don't just want the brand's overall score, we need the model-specific data. And that's a fair point, right? You want to know how the actual car you're thinking about buying is going to perform?
Exactly. Brand reputation matters, but you got to look at the data for the specific model. That's why it's good to do your own research, read reviews, see what other Regal owners are saying.
Makes sense. So back to the automotive snaps, guys. What were their final thoughts on the Regal?
Well, it sounded like even though they went back and forth a bunch, they both kind of agreed the Regal's a pretty well-rounded car. They said it's aimed at a wide audience, it tries to balance a lot of things, features, performance.
Right.
It's not the most exciting car, maybe not the most powerful, but it seems to give you a nice, refined driving experience. A lot of people are going to like that.
Yeah, it's more about that smooth ride comfort than like pushing the limits, that classic Buick feel. A car for those long drives, cruising down the highway in style.
Exactly. It's not trying to be a sports car. It's a Buick. It owns that.
Yeah.
But what really stuck out to me was how they kept coming back to the idea that the right car really depends on what you want, what matters to you. There's no one answer for everyone.
Such a good point. It's easy to get lost in all the specs and comparisons. But you have to find the car that fits your life, what you need, and what you can afford. Only you can really decide that.
Yeah. So if you're all about a smooth ride, a comfortable and luxurious interior, good fuel efficiency, and that classic Buick feel, the Regal's worth a look. But if you're looking for a car that's going to give you that adrenaline rush or blow you away with tech, you might want to keep looking.
And remember, this deep dive is just a starting point. We're trying to give you an idea of what the Regal's all about, get you thinking, get you excited to learn more. Don't just take our word for it or any one podcast or review. Read up, compare it to other cars if you can, test drive it. That's the best way to see if it's for you.
For sure. And when you're test driving, don't just focus on the obvious things. How does it accelerate? How are the seats? Think about the little things, too. How does the steering wheel feel? The visibility? Do you like the dashboard? The infotainment system? Those little things can make a big difference in how much you enjoy the car.
That's great advice. And don't be afraid to ask questions. If you're at a dealership, talk to the salesperson. Get all the info you need to make a good decision.
Don't be shy. It's a big purchase. You want to be sure about it.
Speaking of being sure, there's something else we haven't touched on yet. Transcript the Truth brought it up towards the end of the podcast episode, warranty and service.
Well, yeah, good point. Warranty and service, people don't always think about it when they're buying a new car, but it's really important.
Yeah, and Donald said Buick usually has pretty good warranty coverage, especially compared to some of the more expensive luxury brands. Maybe they're trying to sweeten the deal, attract buyers who might be worried about Buick's reliability in the past.
It could be. Like they're saying, hey, we believe in our cars. We want you to feel good about driving a Buick. But still, do your research, compare warranties between brands, see what's covered, how long it lasts, what the repair process is like.
And the service experience matters too. You're going to be going to those service departments for regular maintenance, maybe repairs. You want a good experience.
Definitely. Think about the location, their hours, the reputation of the service department. Do they have loaner cars if yours needs to stay overnight? Things like that.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive into the Buick Regal Model T, it seems like this car's got a lot going for it. That classic Buick style, a decent amount of power, and it's focused on giving you a smooth, enjoyable ride.
And remember, it might be a good value. You could get those luxury features for less than some of the other big luxury brands. But like we've been saying, the choice is yours. What do you prioritize in a car?
Exactly. No right or wrong answer. It's about finding the car that fits you best. Your needs, your wants, your budget.
That's why you got to do your research, go beyond just listening to us, explore what's out there, read those reviews, compare the specs, and most importantly, test drive it. See how it feels.
Best advice we can give. Now, before we sign off, one last thought to chew on.
Yeah, right? Like, what options would you pick if you could build your perfect Regal?
It's fun to think about.
Totally. It just shows there's no one best Regal. You make it what you want.
Okay, so think about it this way. You're sitting down, you've got that car configurator in front of you, you're building your dream Regal. What's most important to you? Do you go for the sporty version, all the performance upgrades?
Right.
Or do you go for the fuel-efficient option? Or maybe you just load it up with all the luxury features you can find.
It's really cool to think about all the possibilities.
Yeah, and it reminds us that there's no single right answer when it comes to buying a car. It's all about finding what makes you happy, what fits your life.
And that's what we've been talking about this whole time. You've got to do your research, go beyond just one source, look at everything out there, read reviews, compare features, and get behind the wheel. Test drive it.
Yeah, experience it for yourself. That's how you'll know if it's the right car for you. So, to everyone out there thinking about the Buick Regal Model T or any car, really, happy car hunting.
Happy driving. We hope you find the perfect car for you. And hey, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next